dark shadow falls over this troll. From the ashes of a once great fandom has risen a meme, an LOL that must be liked. We look to the airwaves for a vindicator, someone to strike fear in the dark basement of the parents who created him. The battle between fan and smart has begun. With a head on his shoulders stands the smart fan, a speaker of truths, with a voice of silence, and a radio show of justice. This is Ring Rust.
So this week, we've got two pay-per-views to pre-preview. The WWE Clash of Champions on the WWE Network and the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Is that Dr. Indiana? Or is that something? That's something else. Okay, so we got 8 matches, including a pre-show. So let's just get started with it, shall we? So I'm probably... How many matches have I got for the... Because I'm also going to be previewing Ring of Honor's... All-Star Extravaganza. Looks like there's 6 matches for that one so far anyway. So I'll see if I can do them one at a time. Just as an exercise in potential futility. Let's see if I can do them one at a time. So the first match we got for the pre-show, we'll see Alicia Fox taking on NYE Jack in a It Was Nice Knowing You, Alicia Fox championship title match. Because, well, it's NYE Jack. So... she's gonna beat people up. So, yeah, that's how I'm gonna call that one. I imagine that's how the other 99.999% of the people who are calling such matches is going to also call it. So, well, hey, what do you want? She's a force of greatness. You're listening to Ring Rust REDUX on Gerberology TV. So the next match we got here is a singles match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, newly rechristened. Well, because it's the second WWE Cruiserweight title. It's the third in its history, technically. Fourth, if you want to count the light heavyweight. But I think we're getting in semantics now. Wrestling fans getting in semantics. Unheard of. So we got TJ Perkins defending his new title against the Brian Kendrick. Well, I don't know if he still goes by the Brian Kendrick. They're just calling him Brian Kendrick, so... he is still the man with the plan, I'm sure. His plan, of course, was to win the Cruiserweight Classic. Oh. Anyway. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerberology TV. So next up, we have the Best of 7 final match, which sees Cesaro taking on Sheamus. So... I was a bit surprised, actually, to see this go, not necessarily go to the end, but go the way it went. Like, have Sheamus dominate the first 3 matches and have Cesaro come from behind and not complaining. They've put off some pretty decent matches, showing us that Sheamus is actually capable of, really performing if he's properly inspired. So, if nothing else, it's accomplished that. So maybe his stock will go up. I'm sure both their stock will go up, but... in the style of, Chris Benoit versus Booker T from WCW. I'm sorry, did you hear Redacted versus Booker T when I said that? Yeah, I think WWE might be considering sponsoring me, but they might be reconsidering now. So, I can see Cesaro winning this one, although he's also the kind of guy who'll say, oh yeah, sure, I'll let Sheamus win. Not, storyline, I'll let him win, but, in the booking sense of things. He's going to say, oh yeah, I don't mind. Both our stock are risen now, so sure, why not? Except, of course, he'll say it much more monotonally because apparently that's how your voice ends up sounding when you're raised speaking another language and then learn English. You tend to not have proper inflections. I think he's learning. He's getting better at it, certainly. You don't really notice it so much. It's part of his shtick now, I guess, but hey, that's what you get, I suppose, when you're Swiss-made. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerberology TV. Hashtag musical heel. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust. So back to the Clash of Champions preview for this coming Sunday on pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Or, if you actually want to pay the extra tens of dollars, I suppose. If you'd rather spend $60 than $10 and get only one event instead of an entire channel, I guess that's your prerogative. Or you can use streams. Sitting by yourself in your bedroom in shame. Then invite friends over if it's not in shame. Do it with people. I mean, the only reason I argue against streams is because it makes wrestling fans antisocial, I feel. That and, well, of course, it's technically stealing, but I'm sure a lot of people just laughed at me saying that, so, well, there you go. Next match, the United States Championship match, which sees champion Alexander Rusev taking on Roman Reigns. Normally, if it's against Roman Reigns, it's probably a good sign he's probably going to end up winning, but I actually have confidence in Rusev. He's going to defend his title, at least for now. Again, as I keep saying, as is the rule within wrestling, usually the first time you challenge for a belt, you don't win it. Of course, there are exceptions, but usually, the first time you challenge for a belt, you don't win it. Usually. Well, because R-Truth didn't win the WWE Heavyweight Championship, did he? When he wrestled for it that one time. Apollo Crews didn't win the Intercontinental Championship more recently. Wrestling for it that first time. And neither did Darren Young. So, being the number one contender doesn't mean you're the next champion. Necessarily. So, it could happen. I mean, it has happened recently. The last pay-per-view it happened. So, AJ Styles won the WWE Championship. Challenging for it for the first time. So, oh well. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Just usually it doesn't happen. And it would probably, maybe, I don't know, not look so good if I don't know. Maybe if another one of their big stars wins a title so soon, I guess. I don't know. Or another of their big stars, supposedly big stars because he's a champion, loses his title. I'll just call it that way, though. I'll predict that Rusev is going to defend his title. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Anywho, so next up for WWE Clash of Champions, we see Sami Zayn taking on Chris Jericho. And, well, I'm guessing Sami Zayn's probably going to win that one because Chris Jericho's the kind of guy who is there more or less part-time. Not quite part-time, but, not Brock Lesnar part-time. But he's not there too often. He's there for several months at a stretch, and then he's off again because, well, he is getting older, and he's still a significant talent, I think, for actually helping make stars, and he's making Sami Zayn a star by feuding with him. And he's making Kevin Owens a star by being his best friend and tag team partner, MCJ and Cool K. Because, yeah, MCJ and Cool G is a rap act from Canada in the 90s. So I played their CD a couple of weeks ago on Uberswank. So I said, that'll make an interesting tag team name other than no tag team name at all for Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Or Y2KO is what they're calling him. It's like, yeah, sure. Okay, combine two things. Let's Team Hell know their team and make it suck and stuff. But anyway, I like making up, if you listened a long time, I like making up tag team names. So, MCJ and Cool K. Because, I don't know, I could have made up something rock-related, and they would have possibly both liked it. I know one of them would have liked it, but maybe the other one too, but I don't know. This is something that's uniquely Canadian and uniquely 90s, when both of them were getting started. One the early 90s, another the late 90s, so I figured it was funny. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's probably going to win this one. Because I think backstage, Chris Jericho might think that Sami Zayn has it. So, that's what I'm predicting is going to win the match.
Wait for it.
Ah, it's sticking!
Oops.
I forgot my wings!
So this is Fatboy Mark Jabroni. You're listening to Ring Rust. we got the triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship, which sees Charlotte defending her title against Sasha Banks and Bayley. So that's going to be interesting to see. The Diva Revolution still in effect, even though they're not called divas anymore. They're all superstars. So, yeah, we want them to be special, but they're just like everybody else who's... I think we might need to rethink this. I think, once again, I think I'm going to predict a title retention, but then again, that does open up the opportunity, of course, of playing either Sasha Banks' or Bayley's theme next week, if either of them happen to win it. I mean, once again, though, Bayley is challenging for the first time. Sasha Banks is coming back for her title, so that's not quite... That's actually nowhere near the same. So, but Bayley, less likely than Sasha Banks, just on a booking level. I don't know. We'll see, though. I wouldn't be disappointed, of course, either way. Because Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Bayley are 6 great reasons to watch Raw. Babylon Mall, named jokingly, I guess, after the Avalon Mall here in Newfoundland, which is where I had my interesting fan experience. I'm not sure he was a fan or if he was a stalker of some kind. But anyway, I think I'll leave the meat and potatoes of it for my appearance, hopefully on the mic spot coming up soon, because it's something I can talk about more freely there because of what the guy called me. So... if the guys from the mic spot want to know what the guy called me, you're going to have me on your show. So, anyway, the Avalon Mall, when it used to have the movie theaters down a big ramp, this was like late 90s, so early 2000s, so that's when, before they did the renovation that they currently got there now, and the movie theater itself has switched ownership a couple of times, so it was the original owners back then, which is the current owners now, ironically enough. So I walk down this set of stairs, and then there's like a 20 or 30 foot hallway that leads to where the supermarket used to be, which is now where the opposite of Losers is, because it's a business we can't mention on the air. And then this guy apparently followed me down the stairs, and he started calling me this name I can't say on the radio. I turned around, it's like, the guy wasn't even looking at me, but he was the only other guy in the hallway, so it's like, is he talking? He must be talking to me. He must be him talking to me. I didn't really try to engage him in conversation. I kind of just walked a bit faster. He kept calling me that name, and then I got out the door, and he ran right up to the door and yelled the name through the door, and then turned around and walked away. Because, okay, sure, that's fantastic. You are not the opposite of a loser.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jarbronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. Rust presents Macho Facts. Randy Savage has an unbeatable poker face, concealed beneath an even more unbeatable poker beard. And the Macho Man once appeared on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, where he was the first one to spin. The other 29 minutes of the show consisted of everybody else standing around awkwardly, waiting for the wheel to stop spinning. Yeah, I should be able to get it all in then. Oh, sorry, my mind went somewhere else. Next up, we have the tag team title match, which will see the New Day, which will either be Rudy Tooty, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, Tooty Booty, Xavier Woods and Big E Langston, or Booty Rudy, Big E Langston and Kofi Kingston, defending their titles against Bulletproof, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. They haven't challenged, again, not to sound like a broken record, they haven't challenged for the title just yet, I don't think. It's the first time they've challenged for it. It seems a fairly strong possibility, though, they're going to win it either this show or the next show they wrestle for it at. So, I think it's a 50-50 chance that they're going to win it this time, but I'm going to give the New Day a benefit of the doubt for the time being that they're going to defend for right now. Again, they could lose it this show or the next show, whatever, or maybe the big show. 'Cause, yeah. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. And finally, for the WWE Universal Championship, we see champion Kevin Owens defending against Seth Rollins. And again, first time challenging for it. So you never know. If they want to parallel what's going on SmackDown, I guess they'd have Seth Rollins win, I suppose. But, you know, once again, I see Kevin Owens defending. Not really much bold conclusions, I think, going on here. So that's what I think, though.
I'll make it easy. When I was a kid, if someone brandished a shrink gun, he'd get a little bit of respect. I'll make you fun size.
I'm rewriting video game history. This is Fanboy Mark Cerrone. You are listening to Ring Rust. Oh, no, it's oh, God. If I can have your attention, please. I just received an email from the ridiculous Ring Rust general manager. You don't have a lot of time left. You only got about 15 minutes left to your show, so you probably don't even have time to read this email. LOL. Are you serious? Did you just send me an email telling me I didn't have time to read your email? It's no wonder I call you ridiculous. And that's not just because I saw your graduation photo. A powder blue tuxedo and a luchador mask. So anyway, onward and upward to Ring of Honor's All-Star Extravaganza 8, which is on pay-per-view on September 30th and October 1st. I'm doing it this week because otherwise I'd be doing it the day of next week, so the podcast version wouldn't really do much good. And it's from the Lowell Memorial Auditorium in Lowell, Massachusetts. Bangor. So we have a ladder match, we have ladder match 6 actually, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, which sees the champions, the Addiction, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, defending against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. All 6 of these guys are pretty good, I think, in ladder matches, so I think there'll be a rather dynamic title match. I think, though, guess what? I'm going to guess that there's going to be a title defense. So they're going to retain the title. I'm just assume I'm going to, I don't know. Every now and then I'll think, yeah, that person's going to take that other person's belt. But this time around, it doesn't look like that's liable to happen. But we'll see. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Dragon Lee will be taking on Kamatachi, I think that's how you pronounce it, in a singles match, which is, yeah. So they're still doing their New Japan crossover, so I predicted Kamatachi would win that one because I know more about Kamatachi. And Dragon Lee isn't really standing out to me right now, so. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. And Jay Lethal will be taking on Tetsuya Naito in just a regular singles match. I guess as part of the revenge for helping Adam Cole take his World Heavyweight Championship. So we'll see how that turns out. But I do predict that Jay Lethal's going to end up coming on top of that one. He's going to give Naito a nice big lethal dose. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. This is Fanboy Mark Cerrone. You're listening to Ring Rust. First round match of the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Championship Tournament. So, tag team names. So here we go. Six-man tag, Unnecessary Barber, which is Drew Yano, who's known as the Barber. And the Briscoes, because they don't need a barber. Unless for their beard. Mark and Jay, taking on winners, ACH and Prospects, because they were the Ring of Honor Prospects. Leo Rush and Jay White. So I'm going to predict that Unnecessary Barber is going to come out on top of that one because it's Mark and Jay Briscoe in a tag team match. Throwing fists and their opponents every which way. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jobronology TV. Bobby Fish will be defending his World Television Championship against Donovan Dijak, Hansel, with Prince Nana in his corner. So, again, that guy's challenging for the first time. It's not unheard of. That's how I'm going to predict it, though. Bobby Fish is going to defend his title. That's all I'm saying. That's what my prediction's going to be. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkyBrody. And subscribe to Jarbronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. And Adam Cole will be defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Michael Elgin. While Michael Elgin may be unbreakable, I don't think he's quite unbeatable. So, Adam Cole's probably got more than likely going to have the Bullet Club on his side. So, I don't know, unless they're banned from ringside or something, that might happen. I don't know. The referee might pull a 1980s WWF thing and say, "You out of here!" And then the crowd goes, "Ah," because the bad guys are being sent backstage. Anyway. Who knows? All I know is that Adam Cole, he's going to have something for Michael Elgin. That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.